Welcome, everybody, to another episode of HomeKit Insider. You've got me, Andrew O'Hara, and here with me, my man, the man with the cans, the black and white cans. Those are his headphones. I had no intro today, folks, but it's Stephen Robles. How you doing?
I'm doing well, How's the baby and everything? Getting any more sleep? Is that improving at all?
Yeah, it's not too bad. He's doing well, typical baby stuff.
Very good.
Yeah, he's doing great. Faith's doing great. Awesome. But we've been busy. Today has just been exploding with news. I question what we're going to get through today. Really.
I know. We have a limited amount of time, so we will jam through it. As we record right now, there's a Matter launch. Oh, I hear myself coming through yours. I don't. There was some echo in there. You good?
Yep, my headphones just disconnected, and they came through my computer speakers, and now we're good again.
As they do. So as we record, Matter is having a massive launch, launch party, launch conference in Amsterdam. A friend of the show, Jennifer Toohey, who's been on several times on HomeKit Insider, she is there covering it, and we have a bunch of news from there. But I mean, this is it, right? I mean, believe it when I see it. We're seeing it, right? Is this it? This is it.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. I was a little bummed because I couldn't make it out there because Harrison arrived just at this time. But we have a lot of news that we get to talk about.
Yes. All right, well, we'll get through it. We have a ton of Matter news that'll probably round up like the second half of the show. But let's get through some other HomeKit news as well. Very quickly, 3 5-star review shout-outs. Monkman02 from the USA. That might be Andrew's code name. I don't even know. Monkman. And Iron Man himself. I'm trying
to debate if that's like he likes the TV show Monk or if he's just like a fan of chipmunks.
Well, it's MUNK.
Like
yeah, he spells it MU.
So chipmunks is what we're going. Chipmunks. I
think it is the animal. Yes.
Okay. Cool.
And then Iron Man himself. Well, this is Iron Man 456012. So I don't know if that's the serial number of the suit. Maybe
no, the first 456011s were already taken, so he had to do 456012.
That's right. And then G.J. Hallink from the Netherlands, all the way from the Netherlands. He's closer to the Matter launch party than we are. He's all the way over there. You should drive down. Should see what they're doing. All right. So before we get to all the Matter stuff, first of all, Apple actually explained, or at least kind of gave us a little detail about the whole revamp of the Home app in iOS 16. This was Cecilia Dantas, who's a product marketing at Apple for nearly a decade. She had some comments about the Home app and the redesign and all that. So we'll put the link in the show notes. But anything you gleaned from that? I got a thought about the Home app after you, but anything you got?
No, I just thought it was a neat interview. So I figured everyone should read it if they care about the Home
Absolutely.
app.
So the link is there. She did go into saying that Apple continues to apply the same lens for privacy and talking about, the end-to-end encryption and the data and how Apple doesn't build a profile around what accessories you use in HomeKit, which, again, every once in a while we have to talk about privacy and security because, you got Amazon out there, you got Google doing their thing. So Apple's still, I think, leading the pack when it comes to privacy, I would say. I do want to mention the Home app. I still have not gotten used to tapping the icon to switch a device on or off. I still instinctually just tap on the name of the device, like on the rectangle, and then it opens up like the dimming, if it's a ceiling fan or if it's a light and it's dimmable, it opens up like the detailed menu. Or I guess even if it's a switch, it'll just open that up too. So I still have not gotten used to that. I still don't click the icon.
You pointed that out to me initially because I just kept long holding and stuff, and it's still not clicking in for you. And I'm still doing the same thing. I keep long holding unnecessarily and doing that to control things. I'm like, why am I doing that? I know it's not the right. It takes so much longer. It's a hassle. I don't know. I'm definitely still getting used to the tap the icon to control, tap the body to bring up additional details.
Yes. So still getting used to it. Let us know, listeners, if you have gotten used to that yet. I have not. Now, 16.2, which is in beta right now, we talked about last week how the Home app and the Home infrastructure is getting this huge behind-the-scenes kind of reworking. And so you've gone hands-on with it. Andrew, is it life-changing? I mean, is this significantly improved? I know it's a beta still, but what has been your experience?
I mean, it's basically what I talked about on last week's episode. The text just followed what I had discussed with all you people on the podcast, because you guys are special, and you heard it before I finished writing it and got it up on AI. But yeah, if you're curious about more of the details about the 16.2 architecture change, like you want to see the screenshots of how it works and how the setup process is, more of the details on requirements and these niche fringe scenarios that can pop up, go read the article and give it a look over and see if it helps you at all. But basically, like I said last week, it really has helped for scenes and automations that have multiple devices going on at the same time. Those seem to be happening near simultaneously versus one by one by one by one, and just speeds up overall. And I haven't played around with it as much, but I think it's also going to help when you're like tapping a bunch of things quickly in the app, because it can send those signals faster.
Right.
But yeah, I still have the problems with Faith not being able to control our home, which is obnoxious, since we updated her stuff. And then I even saw on Twitter other people had the same issue. So it's like, it's not just me and my stuff. It's clearly other people too that are having the same issue who decided to take the jump and try, which is why I told you guys not to do it.
Don't do it.
Don't.
Do not do it. All right, new announcements. Arlo has announced some new gear. Arlo, previously we talked a lot about their cameras. They have the outdoor cameras. They have the wireless doorbell. They now have a security system. So Arlo is launching kind of a complete thing. It'll have a security keypad, which actually works as a motion sensor as well. Plus, they've also launched a new 2K security camera. This is the Pro 5S, outdoor, wireless, kind of in conjunction with this security system. The camera they've announced will get HomeKit support next year, which, again, we've had this conversation recently, I feel like, a few times, but buying a product with the promise of a software update in the future, a la like Netatmo HomeKit Secure Video, although Arlo does have a lot of HomeKit cameras, it's something they already do, so maybe. But anyway, new security system is nice. My question for you, Andrew, and I didn't see this in our article, I don't know if we have any information on it, but is the security system going to work with HomeKit, or is it just the camera? They confirmed the camera, but I don't know about the security system as a whole.
They told me that right now just the camera is getting updated to HomeKit.
Okay.
So not the security system, which I wish the security system would be updated. But I kind of like this about Arlo, is they're not like overzealous in their promises. Like with because they could have very easily, oh yeah, we're exploring HomeKit in this. Like we have a HomeKit and a bunch of other products, and they could have made that promise, almost haphazardly, but they didn't. So I feel a little bit better about that. And I don't hate this. I still wish it had HomeKit support, but the camera actually looks very good. I'm pretty happy. Another 2K camera. Still wish HomeKit supported something above 1080. But tri-band connectivity, 5 gigahertz network, 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi networks, and their Arlo secure link thing. So it has like all these different ways of connecting, which should be nice and reliable. And like you said, they told me the camera's coming with HomeKit in early 2023, and call me gullible, but I believe them because Arlo this is like their exact pattern. They say, here's a new product, HomeKit's coming soon. And then HomeKit comes soon. Everyone that I think they've promised HomeKit on has gotten HomeKit within a few months. So I don't know why they don't just do HomeKit at the beginning. My thought is maybe they're like the hardware's done and they're just waiting on the certification process, which takes forever through Apple. So maybe they're just like, we're just going to release the product, and when Apple finally gets done certifying it, we'll release the firmware update. That's my thought. But they have updated pretty much all their cameras that they could to HomeKit, so I think it'll be there.
Yeah, I was just excited because their security system, aside from the camera, I mean, they're going to have everything from like water leak sensors, smoke and carbon monoxide detectors and alarms and all that. A lot of people ask us about security systems. Over the last 2 years, we've been doing the show, and the Abode IOTA is always kind of like the default because that's really maybe the only like really all-encompassing security system where you can actually pay.
I see the fallback is the Akara. I mean, They have motion and contact sensors and alarm, all that stuff.
But when it comes to monitoring, I don't think you can pay for the Aqara system for monitoring, right? So if you want something where it will call the cops for you if someone breaks into your house while you're traveling, right now, when it in the HomeKit space, you have the Abode IOTA system, and that's kind of it. And so this Arlo security system, you will have that ability to do monitoring 24/7, call the police and all that. It's just not HomeKit right now. So maybe, I mean, again, they haven't said anything, but I'm hoping in the next year or so, we see more security systems specifically that will work with HomeKit, and also ones that will kind of work with all of your HomeKit devices, because I think you've said in the past, like the Abode IOTA, you have to buy their contact sensors for it to be working with the security system. You can't like get an Eve contact sensor and then the Abode IOTA home security and have it all work together. And so I feel like,
which is a HomeKit limitation, not Abode.
Right. It's a HomeKit limitation. So it would be nice just if it would all work together, and you can have a security system with all the smart home stuff you already have, the HomeKit stuff. So, but anyway, great camera, great from Arlo, seeing them expand product categories. Very cool. Let's real quick, let's go to this Level Lock article, and then we'll get to all the Matter stuff. But this was a article, a YouTuber, Lock Picking Lawyer is the channel. He actually took the new Level Lock Plus, which is the new home key lock, one of like 2 home key locks available in the US. You have the Schlage encode, and now the brand new Level Lock Plus with the NFC and home key and all that. But he said he was able to pick this lock like in a matter of minutes. He does it in the video. So Level Lock responded and saying this lock is ANSI, ANSI grade 1, which is, a typical certification for how secure the lock is. But as you mentioned, I think in the article, that is really in relation to like blunt force to the lock and how strong the deadbolt is if someone tries to kick in the door. That doesn't necessarily apply to the lock picking ability. So I don't know, man, what did you think about this? Because the brand new lock everybody's very excited about it, but it still needs to be a lock first, It can't just be home key first and then lock like low priority. So I don't know, what did you think about this?
Personally, I'm so tired and fed up with this because I've gotten so many emails. It's like trending on Reddit. It's going around TikTok and Twitter, and I'm getting people who are like, hey, just wanted to point this out so you can retract your whole article because this is very unsafe to put on your home. And it's frustrating, the common misconceptions that people have about like door locks. Like door locks are absurdly pickable. This is not a unique thing to Level. This is it is extremely common just through the industry and everything. And lockpicking is also a skill. So just because LPL can get this done in literally like less than 5 seconds or something, he's gone on the record like saying like, oh, the only lock that I can't pick is this one, and he holds up a sticker of a lock that's not an actual lock. Like that's like his thing. Like the only thing I can't pick is this. So for everyone to be like, the reason this took so much traction and why it frustrates me is because people are using this as almost just like headline fodder of Apple's smart lock can be picked in 3 seconds or something. That's the headline that I've seen a lot. People called, like Gizmodo ran an article, Apple wants you to buy a $329 smart lock for your front door. Like, because this was, essentially co-developed with Apple. But people are just basically saying like, this is Apple's smart lock and it's super vulnerable. Like that's like the headline that people are gravitating towards. And you got a lot of naysayers who just like to kind of trash Apple for the fun of it. And are dragging it because it's funny. Like Apple's this giant company, everything is perfect, and you have a lock that can be picked super easily. So can almost every single lock down the halls of Home Depot and Lowe's in the same exact amount of time, and they're on everybody's door. So for me, I'm still buying one of these. I still put one of these on my door. I have no problem with it at all. Any lock is going to be super easy to pick, and there are like a couple that are like harder to pick, but they're like super specific, and like that's like their brand identity of like, you can't pick us. And then they even like have asterisks beyond. They're like, well, technically it can be picked just with like these other more complicated methods of picking. I'm like, okay. So even like the ones that can't, they're like, well, we mean we can't get picked by like a normal bump key. Okay. I mean, that's still not super specific, but it's these common tumbler locks. There's nothing, inherently wrong with them. People just need to realize that most people can't pick locks. But if somebody is like, super skilled enough to pick the lock and get into your home, they're going to find other ways to get into your home. Do you have a secondary door? Do you have other locks at your house? Do you have, freaking windows? I don't know if you know this, Stephen. Windows can be broken very easily with anything hard. You can just like I can get through a window in 3 seconds. But yeah, so it just really annoyed me the way people were kind of turning this, and there's still so many inherent benefits of this. I mean, you still have the ability to get into your home with just a tap without having to need your key or anything else. And you have the safety and the knowledge that if the door is unlocked or picked and you're not there, it was picked or unlocked, and you can take whatever appropriate actions. Have somebody go over, check on your house, get home to your house, check on security cameras, whatever it is. But I think if there's people who are like this worried about the lock being picked, you're going to have something like a video doorbell or a security system or a camera. So I don't think it's a problem. It's just so many nasty emails from people who were really trying to spin this, and it really got under my skin.
Well, so what we need is a HomeKit secure dog. And so if they do pick the lock, it will create it will trigger an automation to cue the dog to sick the intruder. That's all you need. Just get the HomeKit dog. Yeah. Dogs compatible with every smart home system available. So there you go. There you go. Yeah. It's also like saying, oh, you could spray paint HomeKit secure video cameras and then they can't see. It's like, well, that's every camera. So
yeah. Apple HomeKit cameras can be defeated with a $3 bottle of spray paint. Yes.
Yeah, that's a good point. Thank you for talking us off the ledge, Andrew. That's very good. All right, before we get to all of the Matter stuff, we have an exciting sponsor. I love this sponsor, Masterclass. If you have never heard of Masterclass, let me tell you, you can learn from the world's best minds anytime, anywhere, and at your own pace. I've done several Masterclasses. You can learn about space and astronomy from Neil deGrasse Tyson. You can learn about music composition from Hans Zimmer. And one of my favorites, there's actually a course on negotiation from Chris Voss. Have you ever heard of Chris Voss, Andrew? Are you familiar with him?
Mm-hmm.
He's amazing. He wrote the book, Never Split the Difference. And I read that book, but then I looked at the Masterclass. And listen, that is reason alone to sign up for Masterclass. He talks about negotiation because he was a FBI hostage negotiator, but he takes those skills and actually helps you use them in your communication, in your work, in your business. If you work with clients and you do freelance work, it is just an incredible course. So I highly recommend Chris Voss, The Art of Negotiation. But the great thing about Masterclass is every course looks amazing. The video quality, the sound quality is incredible. You can get the app anywhere. You can get it on Apple TV. You can watch it on your iPhone, iPad, or right in your web browser. If you do like a cooking class with Gordon Ramsay or somebody, you can actually get a downloadable PDF, which is like a high-quality cookbook, and you can just follow the recipes from there. And one of my favorite features is if you do the Masterclass app on your iPhone, you can watch a class, and there's a little toggle. You can switch it over into audio-only mode and listen to it like a podcast, like you're listening to this right now. And so Masterclass is just awesome. You need to check it out. I highly recommend it. Get unlimited access to every Masterclass. You can watch them all. And as an Apple Insider, well, this is Apple Insider, but as a HomeKit Insider listener, you get 15% off an annual membership. Go to masterclass.com/HomeKit. Right now, that's masterclass.com/HomeKit for 15% off Masterclass. And that link is in the show notes, too. Our thanks to Masterclass for sponsoring this episode. Now, Andrew, we have a lot of Matter stuff here. There's so many bullets. This is like a barrage. And so I know we had the Eve stuff in there, but there's just a bunch of stuff. So, Andrew, where are you going to take us? Just I'll support you however I can, but tell me what you want to do.
Oh, man.
Rapid fire?
There really is. I guess let's start with new hardware.
Okay.
I think that's what I'm happy with. To start with, we only have a couple things. And before we get into all of this, a few things to highlight. First, this list is changing. I'm pretty sure I literally have gotten emails while we're recording this of more stuff being announced. So the best thing you can do is check up on AI. There's other sites too, like Jennifer Toohey, The Verge. She's got running list of things. But we're going to have a few different articles on Apple Insider. We're going to have an actual list of devices that are being updated over the air through firmware updates that'll enable Matter support. So we're going to have that running list that is being worked on right now. And then we're going to have individual articles on the new hardware that's being announced, and you'll be able to find all those in show notes because Steve does an excellent job in putting show notes for all the stuff that we're going to talk about. So
put me on the hook there. I got it. I'll get it.
I also wanted to highlight, I did do another editorial on Matter because this is coming to the forefront this week. And basically going over kind of the high details again of what Matter is, how we got here, and what it means for HomeKit users, both in the short term and the long term. So I really think Matter is going to be huge. It's going to be great, but I don't want people to have too high expectations and be disappointed in stuff. So give that a read. Also linked in the show notes. But let's go ahead and get into this. I guess the first one here is Nanoleaf. Nanoleaf has 3 sorry, just coughing.
Yep.
Nanoleaf has 3 new products, or 3 new light bulbs and 1 light strip that are going to support Matter over Thread. There's I believe an A16, a BR30, a GU10, and then a light strip that are all going to support Matter over Thread. And here's the thing, Stephen, and please stop sharpening your pitchfork. The Essentials line from Matter is not being updated, the Essentials line from Nanoleaf is not being updated to support Matter. So these are new devices. The existing Thread devices from Nanoleaf won't be updated.
But I mean, for HomeKit users, it doesn't really matter.
For
no
sure.
pun intended.
That's exactly what I talked about in the article. If stuff works with HomeKit, you don't care. There's only the fringe case scenario of why you care is if you insist on buying something like a controller, a Matter controller, something like the Nest Home Hub, and you want that to control the stuff in your house. It can only control Matter devices. So if you have the Essentials line from Nanoleaf, they're HomeKit, yay. But your Nest Home Hub with Matter will not be able to control them because those aren't Matter.
Right.
So that's the fringe scenario that you're going to care about if you're one of those people who insist on having those. If Apple would just come out with a display controller, some sort of iPad on a stand, do all this, it'd be great, and then we wouldn't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
But so new devices there from Nanoleaf. Second company with new devices is Yeelight. Yeelight.
Well,
I'm going to send you a pic.
Yeah, this is different.
No.
Sorry. Just to clarify. Yeelight, not.
Yes. So they're announcing a new series of essential lighting products for the home. Nothing specific, just a new line of products for the home. This is a firmware update piece, so we're sneaking this in, but all Yeelight Pro devices will support Matter through over-the-air updates. So the Yeelight Pro is the high-end professional install stuff that Yeelight puts out. All of those will be Matter certified. But they're also introducing something called Yeelight Fun, which is a new portfolio of smart home products that are built to be fun. And the first of the new products is the Yeelight Cube Smart Lamp. And it's so cool. I sent you a picture. This is what it looks like. It's modular and designed to be built, like they say, like Lego bricks, essentially. So you grab all the little pieces and you put them together and you design the lamp that you want. So in the picture that I sent over to Steven, it's got time displayed on the first 4 cubes or something like that. And then there's just ambient light ones that is a solid color with a gradient on it. Then there's one that has a spots bulb that can rotate and you can point it at the wall. So you can get the ambiance lighting or indirect lighting into your room. That's really cool. This is neat. There's not a ton more details yet on this, but I think it looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
That
cool.
looks neat to me. I'm
it.
excited about it. So that'll be Matter certified. So, working natively here in Apple HomeKit that way. So those are the 2 big new products so far. Not a lot, because most of the stuff is going to be getting updated through software updates. Right now, during the press conference, they told me that there's 190 products right now that are either finished certification or in the queue finishing up certification. So There's a lot of devices that are going to support Matter. And yeah, I guess we can start with Eve if you want to hit the Eve stuff. I know you have those notes there.
Well, and also just going back to devices. So Aqara, I know they had a bunch of announcements, like they're updating their stuff over the air and all that. But didn't they also announce a new hub? Isn't there like an M3 hub coming as well? Am I crazy? I thought that was a real thing. Aqara, yeah, the camera hub G3 will be coming in addition to the M2. Well, I mean, it's weird because it's a camera and a hub, but they talked about, let's see.
Well, that's one of the other ones. I think I had it in the notes that.
Okay.
But I don't think that was a new hub. Isn't that exactly the existing one, or is that new? I thought the G3
I'm not sure.
was the one with the ears.
You might be accurate.
Like closed.
You might be accurate. Well, to redeem ourselves from this, I will put as the chapter art for this brief section for Aqara. They have a nice little graphic that shows all the devices that will then support Matter because of the Aqara Hub M2 update. So I'll put that as the chapter.
I guess since we're talking about Aqara, I'll hit those bullet points here. But basically, the M2 is getting updated first. That update is arriving in December of this year, 2022. So next month, that's getting updated, and then that'll bring 40 Aqara Zigbee devices into Matter. They already work with HomeKit, but they'll work with Matter now. Then the M1S and M1S Gen 2, the Hub E1, the Camera Hub G3, and the Camera Hub G2H Pro will all receive Matter updates within the next couple months after that. Ultimately, 160 Aqara Zigbee devices will get Matter support.
Amazing.
They also are kind of announcing a new line of thread-based devices, 2 new sensors, door and window P2 and motion sensor and light P2. Those will be working over Thread, and those will be arriving in early 2023. Oh, there is, down here. So there's other Thread devices to follow, which is the Hub M3 that will have Thread support. So that's probably what you were talking about before.
That's what I was thinking of, that one.
Yes. Yeah. So that one is coming in 2023 and basically adding Thread support there. So Aqara, a mix of new devices, a lot of firmware updates for existing stuff.
Very cool. All right. And so now, yes, to Eve devices, as you were saying, they're updating over-the-air Matter updates on December 12th. They actually announced the Eve Energy, Eve Door and Window, and Eve Motion. Those will all be over the air. The entire lineup of now 14 Thread-enabled Eve devices will receive a free Matter firmware update throughout the next year. So this is going into 2023. And the Matter-certified Eve products will be in retail starting next year as well. So if you have modern Eve devices, they're going to get a firmware update to support Matter. And the Eve app, which was originally just iOS only because Eve has been HomeKit only, really, until just recently. There'll now be an Android version of the Eve app, and that will be coming out in Q1 of next year, so probably the next 6 or 7 months. But Eve updating all their stuff. If you got some Matter controllers or you want to, use the Eve stuff with Matter, they're really updating their entire lineup. What else?
I didn't see in that, Steven. Yeah. Did you see the exact products that were getting updated? Like, I wasn't sure if like the light strip was being updated because it's still Wi-Fi. It can still support Matter. But it
said the entire lineup of the 14 Thread-enabled Eve devices. So it seems like if there's an Eve device with Thread, it will receive the Matter firmware update.
Okay, so things like the Eve Energy Strip, things like the Eve Light Strip, those would not then be supporting Matter based on this, which I think is interesting.
Yeah, so the Light Strip basically that I just bought, which is Wi-Fi, and it's been working fine. Like, it's not a big deal.
It already works.
That will not be getting
HomeKit. Oh, by the way, Steven, we're a mess today. I told you this is a mess.
It's a lot of stuff. We're trying to get through a lot of stuff. I mean, what are you going to do? What do you want from me?
I have to circle back. Okay, so first off, let's finish all this up. I think this is exciting. So the first updates here from Eve, December 12th for those first 2 devices. So now we have basically beginning of December so far, firmware updates landing for this stuff.
Right.
Going back to what I was going to say when you mentioned the light strip.
Right.
this is interesting me, and I have not got a firm confirmation on this yet from Nanoleaf, but there's a weird thing now because Nanoleaf's Essentials line supports adaptive lighting, which will automatically change the light throughout the day. Wake up in the morning, it's a warmer color temperature, more yellows. In the middle of the day, it cools, more white light, promotes productivity and focus. And then going into the evening, it removes more of that blue light out, going again warm, helping you settle and get to sleep at the end of the day. I love adaptive lighting. That's a HomeKit only feature, not part of Matter. So these new Matter-enabled bulbs and light strip, they have not confirmed whether or not these are getting an independent HomeKit certification, which means they'll work with Matter, but they won't support things like adaptive lighting. So now you're left deciding, do you want HomeKit features like adaptive lighting, or do you want the universality of Matter?
I mean, for someone maybe like ourselves who are all in on HomeKit and control everything with HomePods and everything, like I don't have any Echo devices or Nest devices. So if I don't have those devices and I don't care to get one, I don't get any real benefits from this Matter updates right now. Like I'd get no more control. And like you just said, I might actually lose some control, like adaptive lighting. So this is really for if you specifically out there, viewer and listener, want to use a Nest Hub Max for your smart home control, you can try and pull some of your HomeKit devices into that. It's not going to be all your HomeKit devices. Again, it's, these Akara and you got Eve and all that kind of stuff. But this is really benefiting mostly people who are maybe Android users or were all in on Google Nest and Amazon Echo devices. And they now get access to like the entire Eve lineup of Thread product. Like they can buy whatever Eve product they want and they can use it with their Nest Hub Max or their Echo Show or whatever. Or these Akara devices. They can buy the Akara Hub and all that kind of stuff. It's really benefiting that side of the market right now, not us. So it would seem like adaptive lighting versus Matter. If you're an all HomeKit home like I am, that's an easy choice. Like I'm not going to update that. Like I don't really need it. I don't really care. Right?
Well,
I mean that's the bottom line.
Unfortunately for me, it may be more important because one of my favorite devices has announced that they are joining the CSA and that Matter updates will be arriving to all of their products in early 2023. And that company is Brilliant.
Oh,
and
boy.
This excites me because one of the biggest limitations from your Brilliant controller is that you can use HomeKit to control the Brilliant light switch. Turn the lights on and off, turn the fan on and off, whatever's connected to it.
Right.
But you cannot use the Brilliant controller to control HomeKit devices. You can use it to, like, they've worked very hard on individual certifications to control Yale smart locks, August smart locks, to control Philips Hue lights. They just had a big update rollout to continue to add features for Sonos speakers. So you can control them through there and it'll show on the lock screen and you can play and pause, all this stuff. So they have worked hard for all these independent certifications for individual products. But, blanket, they cannot control HomeKit devices. They're not a HomeKit certified controller. But with Matter, that could open the door. So a Brilliant wall switch could be able to control any Matter device. I mean, looking into the future here, Stephen, like we have cameras coming up in like a next version of Matter in the next year or so. You'll be able to see your HomeKit or your Matter cameras through your Brilliant panel, which would be amazing. You'd be able to control anything else in your home. Yeah, anything in your home. And but they need to have Matter. So that's really cool for Brilliant, though. They had been a long holdout, and I was hoping to hear something from them, and I'm pretty stoked that they have confirmed it and new firmware updates coming next year.
Wow. All right, real quick, Andrew, we got to take a break. All this Matter talk is very exciting, but I'm gonna get a little excited here. So real quick, because we still got more Matter stuff to go through. It all matters, okay? Matters a lot to me. I know it matters to Andrew. But let's take a quick break. Thank our second and final sponsor, our good friends at Collide. So listen, take a break during this time because listen, when you get to the end, they're going to give you a free goodie bag just for trying Collide for free. So you get to that, okay? But listen, the challenge with endpoint security has always been that it's difficult to scale. Maybe you're over the IT department or you work with the IT department at your organization. When remote work took over, that challenge got exponentially harder. You need visibility for your fleet of devices in order to meet your security goals, reduce service desk tickets. You always want to do that. But how do you get that visibility when different parts of your company run on Mac, Windows, and Linux? You got all those different operating systems. You get Collide. Collide is endpoint security solution that gives IT teams a single dashboard for all devices, regardless of their operating system. That's a big deal. Collide gives you real-time access to your fleet's data, can do things that traditional mobile device managers can't. And instead of installing intrusive agents and locking down devices, that can be frustrating, Collide takes a user-focused approach and communicates security recommendations to your employees directly on Slack. So when Andrew saves his passwords to his desktop in a plain text file, Collide would get up there in Slack and say, "Yo, Andrew, maybe don't do that. Don't save your passwords in a plain text file." And then he doesn't do that, and they tell Andrew what to do with his passwords. And you can answer every question you have about your fleet without intruding on your workforce. So visit collide.com/HomeKit to find out how. And if you follow that link, well, what I tell you, they hook you up with a goodie bag just for activating a free trial, free goodie bag. That's how it works. So KOLIDE.com, collide.com/HomeKit. As always, that link is in the show notes. Our thanks to Collide for sponsoring this episode. All right, now I gotta gear up. Let's get some energy. All right, what's the rest of this Matter stuff? What is this list, Andrew? What are we going to go to next? What are we talking about? Schneider? You want to talk about Maris?
Oh, man.
What is happening? I'll say Philips Hue, they announced the Hue Bridge will be Matter certified over an OTA update. Not available yet, but Philips Hue lights will all be Matter. That's cool.
Yep. So we got that coming in from Hue.
Yep.
We have, let's see. What else?
You're just adding blank bullets at the bottom of this list.
Dude, there's oh man. Well, I just there's so many things to talk about.
We'll do a follow-up. We'll do a follow-up in the next episode. Don't feel like you got to get every. I mean, it all matters, but you can't. I mean, you can't get to every piece of matter. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, there apparently Maris has some news, but they have yet to send it to me. They said we're working on the announcement, and we will send it to you. They have not yet, so I guess Maris has some news for Matter.
Matter.
Be excited for that. Schneider Electric, they create the Wiser Gateway that's being updated to support Matter.
I don't even know the words you're saying.
Well, that's because it's on HomeKit, Steven. This is the world we live in now. These companies that you've never heard of will now show in the Home app. That's the world.
Right.
So Schneider Electric, they've been a big supporter of the CSA and Matter. All of the existing Zigbee Wiser products will work with Matter, and that'll bring over 200 Zigbee products from them into Matter. And then they're also working on independent Matter certifications for certain products, like their Square D Smart Plug. That is going to be independently Matter certified, so you'd be able to use that directly with Matter stuff without the need for the Wiser Gateway. But so stuff from Schneider Electric.
Sheesh. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, and then Amazon also has announced a bunch of Matter stuff, different Echo devices, plug switches, bulbs. I mean, there you go. Bunch of Amazon devices.
Yeah, but this is, oh man, Steven, this is a little bit of a mess. So Amazon is rolling things out in phases. Okay. So for this year, 2022, they're going to focus on Matter over Wi-Fi, just Matter over Wi-Fi. They're going to have 17 Echo devices updated to support Matter. They're going to be updating individual products of their smart home stuff, such as plugs, switches, and bulbs this year for Matter. And they're going to prioritize setup over Android on Android devices. Next year, then they're going to switch to doing Matter over Thread as well. Then they're going to have more Eero or more Echo devices as well as the Eero devices. So Eero updates coming for Matter next year. They're adding additional device types to their Matter portfolio next year. and then they will have iOS set up. That part's fuzzy for me because does that mean
you would need the Alexa app? You would need the Alexa app to set it up. I guarantee.
Exactly. That's what I'm like. Okay, so that means but Matter is supposed to work, easily, right? It's supposed to just be able to add into your smart home. So does that mean like we're not going to be able to use any of these Amazon devices this year on iOS, or is it just setting them up on an Android device and then they work on iOS, or can they still just be added directly to the Home app? Because we talked about with the Matter stuff in the previous updates to iOS, you have to use Apple's like onboarding process, and they're adding device stuff to make it very easy to do. So I'm not quite sure how that works. But I missed part of this, Stephen, and I'm see if I can maybe even find somebody else who had covered it. But Amazon has introduced like a new certification program. Let's see.
Okay.
Yeah, they're having so the company will be having Matter device makers will still need to go through the Works with Alexa program to get the WWA badges. So that's what we talked about, how HomeKit is still going to have like a HomeKit badge. They have their Works with Alexa badge, and you'll still have to go through their certification process to get that WWA badge. So they have a new certification program that works with Amazon's Assistant via Matter.
I got you.
That's a thing now too.
Oh my goodness. Simplification, I guess, or something. I mean,
yeah.
It's great. It's great. I'll be curious if you could buy like an Amazon plug that supports Matter and just scan that QR code with the Home app and it's added. I mean, that's the promise. That's what it should be.
That's what it should, yes.
That's what it should be. So we will try it for sure once those products are actually available to buy. You can't buy anything today. But, yeah. We'll try it.
Well, so beyond that, I had just a couple updates on Matter that I wanted to talk about.
Okay. Go for it.
It doesn't end. Just a few different things. They shared a lot of different data that I thought was super informational. And there's things like what devices are popular in smart homes. So here in the U.S., Stephen, what do you think is the number one product category?
I mean, I think video doorbell would be number one. If not that, then a plug. What is it?
So video doorbells, smart doorbells. Boom. Is 17% of U.S. of homeowners have a doorbell. Second on the list is security cameras, 15%.
Oh, sure.
And see, this is mind-blowing to me. Mind-blowing. In the U.S., 14% of homeowners have a robotic vacuum cleaner, but only 12% have a smart bulb.
Wow.
Right?
I get it.
Right?
I get it. I get it though, because like I had a friend who they just bought a house and he was trying to like put some smart stuff in, and the bulbs was intimidating because he knows like some bulbs require a hub, some don't. He had wanted it to work with HomeKit, but he knew a lot of those smart bulbs that you see in like Home Depot and Lowe's probably don't work with HomeKit. They're probably their own deal. So I think the bulbs can be sometimes intimidating to someone who is maybe not steeped in the smart home world. But a robot vacuum, it feels like you buy a vacuum, you download the app, you press the start, and it vacuums your house. So I think I understand that, but it's a shame because smart bulbs are cool.
Yeah, I think this is Spain. I think this is Spain here. But did you know in Spain, 33%, 1 in 3 households have a robotic vacuum cleaner.
That's a lot of robot vacuums.
That's a lot of robots. It's a lot of robots.
Although I will say, once we got a Robo Rock that mops and vacuums and does a great job, we've had a couple people see it and like bought one pretty soon after that because they were like amazed that that vacuumed and mopped and it actually did a good job. Because that's the part that always gets you. People are like, yeah, I'm sure it like makes sounds and drives around the house, but does it actually clean? And I think we're actually in an era now where especially robot vacuums can be good and actually vacuum well. So I think that makes a big difference. People want it.
Well, the CSA also told me that they plan to do a biannual release cadence for the Matter spec, which means we're going to get an update to the Matter spec every 6 months or so. So we can expect the next update to Matter to be in March. And these updates, they're not promising what's in the updates, but it will include continuous improvement, sure. Functional updates, so new functionality and features, and new devices. So every 6 months or so, at least in the short term, we should see 6-month releases of Matter with new features and new devices. Those are the big ones. On top of that, they also shared their upcoming product categories or devices that they're planning to support with Matter.
Yeah.
So they say cameras.
Nice. Okay.
Robotic vacuum cleaners. That is on the list.
Yes.
Appliances. Fridge. Washer dryers.
Yes.
Freezers, all that kind of stuff. All of that's going to be supported in Matter. Wi-Fi access points. Not just routers, but access points.
Nice.
Energy management. We have a sense controller on our house here, and you can kind of see like what devices are using a bunch of energy and stuff, and it's really cool. So hopefully stuff like that will get updated to support Matter. Closure sensors.
Okay.
I don't know exactly what those are, other than like, because I'm not sure how that differs from like a contact sensor, but they're showing a picture of a garage door. So I don't know if like a garage door couldn't tell if it was open or closed before, but closure sensors.
Okay.
Environmental sensing and controls.
Like air quality stuff. Okay.
Smoke and carbon monoxide detectors.
That's good. Okay.
And ambient motion and presence sensing. We have talked about presence sensing a lot.
Yes.
So
we're not talking about Christmas presents either. I'm talking about presents. Yes. If it knows you're in the room or not. That would be amazing. Cool.
Yeah. So I think those are the big updates. I literally just got more emails here, but we're not going through these. We're going to have an update next week because there's going to continue to be news that we're trying to keep up with. But what are your takeaways from this, Stephen? This was a lot. This was
I will
food fight of news.
It feels real. It feels real now. Like Matter is a thing. There are devices. Again, I will finally like. I'm not going to shave my eyebrows or beard or anything, but when I hold a device in my hand that supports Matter but is not HomeKit specifically compatible, and I can scan that Matter QR code with my phone in the Home app, and it gets added to my HomeKit Home, and I can control it, and it works, and then I feel like it'll be like it is finished. Like it is accomplished. Matter is a real thing. But because, I mean, having a whole event in Amsterdam, people are like flying there to cover the event. It is obviously a big deal. So it's very exciting. It's exciting to hear this. I'm hoping that the presence sensors and other categories allow devices to be used in the HomeKit. Again, because I don't know how that will work. If HomeKit doesn't have a certain, I guess they support presence sensors, right? HomeKit has presence sensing. So as long as there's a presence sensing device, you can get in there. So I'm excited. I'm finally excited for Matter and for the devices that are coming up. I will stop naysaying it and say Matter. I believe.
I'm excited. You believe it because you see it.
I see it.
I think I'm excited for basically next year is what I'm most excited about. This is all like the getting started part, but it's things like the appliances and robot vacuums that I'm most excited for. Those are what I want to see inside of the Home app that currently aren't supported. It's like the device types are what I was like most yearning for. Yeah. And I want to be able to see like right now, like if I have a Samsung TV, I can see like when the fridge was left open or when the washer and dryer are done. But that's going through Samsung Smart Things. And I want to be able to see that stuff in the Home app and not have to go through Smart Things. I don't have to have a Samsung TV. I want to see that alert through the Apple TV natively that way, and through the Home app and everything like that. And be able to automate my vacuum based on everything else that's going on, and just not having to use Siri shortcuts. So that'll be my biggest thing. Like things that are currently not supported, and then supported. Like I don't want to scan an Amazon Smart Plug and then be like happy and like that was worth it. Like that's not going to do it for me. I want like unsupported devices. Yeah. And I can't even think of any. Maybe it's because we're so steeped in this HomeKit world, Steven. But I can't think of any devices that are on the market now that are exclusive to Google Home or Amazon that lack HomeKit that I've wanted but could not buy because they lacked HomeKit certification. I can't think of any of those devices quite yet.
I think it's more
I'm sure they're out there.
controllers.
Maybe I need to do more research. Yeah, the controllers. That's the big one.
Echo Show and Nest Hubs and all that. But I'm excited, man. I think this time next year, it's going to be very interesting, the smart home landscape and what HomeKit users can buy and use and all that kind of stuff. I think it's going to be good. I'm excited for it. Well, Matt,
what a busy show, man.
Wow, Matter. I just want to sneak in one last thing. We had some listener feedback and sleep timers, and we will cover that on the next episode. I don't want to shortchange it, but I do want to mention this one link. I'll put it in the show notes. This is from Smart Home Explained is the website, but this person, I don't see their name on the article, but that's the website. But basically, they went through and tested what colors you can tell Siri to change your hue bulbs. And, because you could say blue, you could say orange, you could say teal, but there's actually over 600 colors, 662 different color commands you can tell Siri. Things like bittersweet and dark slate blue and medium top, pistachio, pumpkin, raspberry
Crimson
rose,
glory,
crimson thistle, terracotta. Like, these are all colors that you could say, hey, you know who, change my living room lights to tractor red, and it will change that color. So if you have hue lights and you use your Siri, we'll put this link in show notes, but there are over 600 color commands that will actually give you 600 something different colors. Whether your naked eye will actually tell the difference remains to be seen, but they will work. Corn silk. You can do corn silk. You can do...
Yeah, I want to try one of these, Steven, and see what's a good one.
Let's do
good
it.
contrast to what I've got going on.
Let me try one. If you're listening and you're afraid your Siri is going to go off, mute or
I'm just going to use the button. I'm just going to use the button on mine, so I don't have to say the word.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what. I'll mute my mic real quick. You'll see me talk. Let me see... I just asked it to do fluorescent orange. Hey, look, there it is.
There you go.
You're watching.
That's it, I guess. Let's try mine.
It turned fluorescent orange. Yeah.
Set the hue iris to American rose. That's it.
Oh, it works.
What a color. What a color, Steven.
This is pretty cool. So
set the hue iris to antique fuchsia.
This is hilarious.
Oh, that's what it looks like, I guess.
Okay, so check out that link. You have over 660 colors you can tell Siri to change your hue lights. Very cool. All right, listeners, let us know what you're excited about for Matter. What is your favorite of the 662 colors you can tell Siri? Please tell us on Twitter, tweet at Andrew and myself. And, of course, watch us, youtube.com/HomeKit Insider. You can see these colors we're playing with at the end of the show. Thanks for sticking with us. We'll catch you next time.
See you, everyone.